Oh my god, it froze. Anyway. What up, guys? Fruit Punch CB here. We're back with Ever17. She's you? Uedekana's you. No, she's not. Oh, you meant Sakura. Yeah, Sakura's you. I remember Uedekana is, somebody. I don't know her name. We haven't gotten that far yet. This one, right? Right. Looks a lot better now, right? That's cause I'm playing this on small mode now, bro. With no more full screen. But because it's no more full screen, it's not stretched, so it looks a lot better. Well, it's been looking good on my end. It just never looked good on your end. So I took a bullet for you. You're welcome. So last time we left off, we bonded with you a little bit. Dolphin, Carousel, situation normal. You explained to us the whole point of her working part-time here is to find her dad that was missing for 17 years since she was 1 year old. So after that, we left her. We didn't want to be in that weird, awkward atmosphere she just created. So we're going to visit the souvenir shop. I'm going to level up a little bit. There we go, for the sounds. Adjacent to the corridor was a little room for visitors to rest as well as the shop selling theme park goods. There was a sign with a LeMU mascot on it. There was where I had peeled the mascot costume off of the kid. The Mew raccoon dog mascot. I didn't see any raccoon dog stuffed animals next to all the keychains, hologram pendants, seafood snacks, and other stuff. I still had no idea what that raccoon dog was. The kid was sitting on the bench next to me. He wasn't really looking at anything, but his gaze seemed fixed. He just kept staring at the ground. I expected to see a hole open up in the ground from how intensely he was staring. He had his hand on his temple. How's your headache, kid? What's the matter? Did you find something? Or did you remember something? He has amnesia. He doesn't know what's going on. It's okay though. We'll help him out. I don't know if we'll help him out. What? Damn, he forgot about me already. I just told you a bit ago. I introduced myself. I'm Takashi. Kuronari Takashi.
そうだったっけ。ここはどうして僕はこんなところに？
God dang. Oh great. It's that amnesia thing. The kid couldn't even remember what he had just said. He just moved from one topic to the next, forgetting the last. This is the marine theme park, LeMU. Something happened and we're trapped here.
LeMU? 閉じ込められたってどういうことなの？
There's something I would like to answer myself.
それであなたは？
Kuronari Takashi.
倉成武史？
Takashi means samurai in Japanese. Maybe you should start taking notes, you know, keeping track of my name and other people and where we are.
メモか。そうだね。そうした方がいいか。
It looks like you understood what taking notes means. Take good ones, even when you're eating. Oh, fuck. And if you can't remember, you can make a memo of your name too. I give the kid a memo pad and pen I have flitched from the kiosk.
ありがとう。ねえ、ところで今は何年なの？
The year 20XX. If you get that too, it's 20XX. What year is it? I searched around in my pocket. My entrance ticket stub was crumpled and stuck to the back of my PDA. Oh, that's right. It's 2017. Take notes. Write it down.
わかった。
Damn,
2017年と。
He was taking it down. It looked like he hadn't forgotten how to take notes. Well, is there something up with the year?
ちょっと。
Kind of.
年を聞いたら生年月日ぐらいは思い出すんじゃないかと思って。
I see. Come to think of it, you don't even know how old you are, huh? By the way of it, I say you're not a day over 42.
え？
Surprised the kid felt his face. Ha ha ha, I'm kidding. Relax, there's no way. You're probably in the neighborhood of 14 or 15. If you're 18, then you got a baby face. Geez, don't tell me you forgot your own face.
顔
If you're worried about it, go take a look in the mirror. You could sketch a self-portrait in case you forget later.
ああそうしようかな
Geez, he got it rough. But his serious expression and relax, that at least was good. Alright, well, I'm gonna get going. When it's time, you can come to the security office.
あ警備室どこなのうんここはどこだっけごめんわからないよ
God damn it, bruh. It's alright, I understand. If you don't come, then I'll come looking for you.
うん頼むよたけし
Hey, you remembered.
たけしだろ名前
The kid had been taking notes, and sure enough, there it was. My name, Takashi, on his pad, but spelled wrong. LeMU kiosk situation, normal. Alright. Sora had said she would be working in the security office, but I wondered what she was doing there. Besides, she was the only one that had been doing desk work the whole time we've been trapped. I imagine that she would be getting a different kind of tired from what we got walking around. Mentally tired, maybe. As I was thinking that, I knocked on the security office door. Hello, Sora, are you there? Wait, this metal door is so thick you couldn't even hear me if you were. I pushed the button and intercom on the panel next to the door, but Sora didn't reply. I wonder if she isn't in there. The door wasn't locked, so I pushed the open button and it opened. The security office was small, and it was dirty. The front wall was packed with monitors, They were all stained dark from cigarette smoke. The ashtray was stacked up like it was normal, and there was a huge sign plastered on the wall that said no smoking. I recalled the sloppy clubroom back at college. It had 25 years of history, being only used by guys, and couldn't help but chuckle. But I restrained myself and kept looking. Sora wasn't there. Sora! Hey Sora, where are you? I didn't think you were the type to go running off without telling anyone. I took another step inside the room. Yeah? Wow! All the windows and the wall monitors opened and closed.
倉成さん、いつの間にいらしたんですか?
For some reason, the voice sounded like it came from the shadow of the desk. It was a blind spot and I couldn't see Sora. So you are here, Sora. I thought you'd probably be all stressed out from the work and situation, so I came to take a look. What are you doing in that weird place? I approached the rear of the desk as I
あ、
talked.
ダメです。倉成さん、こっち来ないでください。
Huh?
今ちょっと手が離せなくて。
Then what's she doing in there, bro? I couldn't see her face, but she sounded
で
embarrassed.
きれば、もうしばらく部屋の外にいていただけませんか?
What the fuck? What is she, naked? She spoke hesitantly. Are you changing? I'm sorry.
いえ、そうじゃないんですけど、まあ似たようなものですね。倉成さんは着替えなくても大丈夫ですか?
What the hell is she doing, bruh?
従業員用の服でよければ、更衣室がこの部屋のすぐ裏にあります。通路の角を折れれば行けますよ。
Nah, I'm alright. I'm just a little damp and uncomfortable, but I'm used to it.
そうですか。すみません。まだ作業は途中なんです。集中したいので、時間までには必ず終わりますから。
I'm sorry to bother you. I'll go look around a little more. Okay, good luck.
はい、ありがとうございます。
During the whole exchange, Sora was hidden, and I didn't see her. I waved in Sora's direction, though I figured she couldn't see me, and headed for the exit. Hey, it's not good for you to stay cooped up in here. Take a break once in a while. I said it without looking back.
ええ、でもお気遣いなく。仕事が楽しいですから。私その気になれば何日でも。全然眠らなくても平気なんです。
Days without sleep, that's insane. I didn't really understand what she meant, but I suppose she's probably really into her job. I imagined that the position of system engineer was probably just an occupation that drew interesting types and felt satisfied with that. Security office situation normal. I took my PDA from my pocket and checked the in time. There were 17 minutes until the time Sora had said. I wonder where I should hit next. Okay, so we investigated everywhere. We're going to the visitor's elevator because it's the first one. I mean, why do I want to go to the warehouse, the infirmary? Let's go to the elevator because we almost died in there. I continued to the next corner in the corridor and hung a left. I went in the far door. It was open. Huh? Where am I? I've been aiming for the elevator but wound up somewhere else. The sign said Quell. I had no clue what that meant. Reading the explanation, I learned that it was a gondola in the shape of a jellyfish. It wasn't particularly in the mood for a ride. I checked to see that there was no damage to the floors or the walls and left. The elevator was next to the jellyfish gondola. Oh? Tsugumi was standing there silently. She was in front of the closed elevator doors with a stern look on her face. So this is where you were. It didn't look like Tsugumi had noticed me, but she didn't reply. Her eyes stayed fixed on the door. This elevator doesn't go to the surface. I was reading a nearby sign. It says that it goes to the floating island. And so no. We should use the elevator in the center of the floor. Hey Tsugumi, just standing there isn't going to make the elevator come.
そんなこと分かってる。
Tsugumi finally answered me.
さっきこの目で見たから。
Saw what?
エレベーター。
As soon as she said that, she placed her hand on the closed elevator doors and started prying them apart. The door was stopped half open. I thought it might be broken. Tsugumi looked inside.
ほら、リフトは3階に降りたまま。
Scared, I peeked in. Oh, that's the one we rode down in.
私たちが脱出した時のまま、あそこにあるの。
A little box in the abyss. The elevator was about 20 meters down. I thought that the floor were fairly far apart, but I didn't realize just how far. Wow! Tsugumi suddenly gave a little push on my shoulder from behind. Don't push! What do you think would happen if I fell from here?
落ちたら死ぬでしょうね。確実に。
Tsugumi said it without a trace of emotion. Jeez, why do you want to go and try to scare me?
あなたが臆病なだけよ。
It's dark in here. Tsugumi pulled on the doors, putting them back in their original positions. Just to be sure, I tapped on the elevator button a couple of times. There was no response. The lamp didn't light up. It doesn't look like it's getting any power.
ええ。それにエレベーターのシャフトも折れ曲がってる。通電してもまともに動かすのは無理でしょうね。そうよ。このエレベーターは使えない。
After that, Tsugumi went quiet again. Silence was the rule for a while. Tsugumi rarely talked. She only said the minimum necessary. I thought that maybe she was trying to be careful around me for some reason. I wonder what it could be. I wanted to know. Hey, why don't you tell me what happened?
あなたには関係ない。
That might have been true, but still. It had nothing to do with me. It had something to do with me. Hey, you know something I don't.
何かって何を？
Like about this accident. Like maybe something. Something to do with the reason you're all quiet.
事故？これは事故じゃなくて事件よ。
What makes you say that?
へえ、驚かないんだ。
Tsugumi gave me a strange look.
あなたも何かおかしいって感づいてるのね。
Well, maybe, I guess. Like everything is just too neat. We can't communicate with the outside and our escape routes are all closed. But we got electricity and the air conditioning still work. It's almost like someone trapped us here on purpose.
見かけによらずまともなことも考えられるのね。
Tsugumi expression loosened into a slight smile. It was a provocative smile. What do you mean by that?
そのまんまの意味よ。あなた頭悪そうだから。
Wow. This chick. I'd love to tell her that I really think of her. That thought ran through my mind. But I thought that could really make me look stupid, so I resisted the urge.
これは罠よ。
Tsugumi expression returned to normal.
きっとあなたは出られない。いえ、あなただけじゃなく、他の4人も全員。
There's 6 of us. She's not counting one. Oh, because one of us might be the culprit. Is that why she said that?
みんな同じよ。
Huh? Well, what about you then, Tsugumi? Oh, there is 6. Her, she's the 6th person. Me, I'm the 5th. And there's 4 more other people. Okay, I get what she said.
私はそうね。 ここで死んでもいいかな。それも悪くないかも。
Damn. Tsugumi looked upward. The ceiling was covered with artificial materials. It felt oppressive. She laughed again. Then she left, disappearing down the corridor, and I was alone. Alright, jellyfish, gondola, quail. Situation, normal. Elevator, out of order. So, we visit the elevator. Where should we go next, right? You want to go to the warehouse? Let's go in order. Alright. There was a room with no sign indicating what it was for. It caught my curiosity, and I decided to have a look. It appears to be a warehouse of some kind. There were loads of boxes made of reinforced plastic all piled up. There were a push cart, boxes too big to carry, and few long, narrow ones that a person could manage to hold. There were all kinds of marks, symbols, and letters on the boxes, and I couldn't make sense of them. There were a bunch of round carbon capsules and drum-like looking objects. I wondered what was inside them. I figured I didn't really need to know. There was a hissing noise coming from somewhere. Looking for the sound led me to the air conditioner that was in bad shape but still working. On the room ceiling was a crane complete with guide rails. One container was still suspended from above. It looked like it had been abandoned in the middle of work. No one had any time to clean up. Everyone had fled at once. Hey, is there anybody here? I called out once, but nobody answered. There's no reason anybody would be here. There was no reply. Warehouse situation normal. Okay. Kraken Station. I arrived in front of the infirmary. While the place was a theme park, it was also deep in the ocean. We had other facilities. LeMU atmosphere was maintained using a mix of gases at an air pressure different from the outside world. It seemed that it could make some people feel ill. I reckon that was the reason the room was so large. Beyond the huge sliding door was a room decked out elaborately in shiny new medical equipments. I thought it could be something to do with LeMU's sponsor being a major pharmaceutical company. The room was so clean and white that it was nearly blinding. There were 2 normal beds and one that looked like it was for surgery. There was also a huge machine attached to one of them. LMRI was written on it. I didn't know what it was, but it looked like it was some kind of scanner. I saw a shelf on the wall filled with medical tools and medicine. It was probably in case somebody fell ill or got injured here. But it wouldn't be possible to move anyone outside, so they would be treated on site.
そうだね。きっともう出られないよ。
It's Coco. I was getting used to surprises, but the voice startled me. I didn't know who was talking, but somebody sure
みん
was.
な助けに来てくれたの？
What the fuck? It sounded like Coco, but I didn't know who she was talking to. I couldn't tell where they
で
were.
もきっと無理だよ。もうどこにも出られないんだ。
Damn, I don't trust Coco. What was she saying? I wonder if something had happened to Coco. I carefully crept towards the rear of the room. I noticed a squarish hole cut out of the floor. I peered down inside. Down below, a small lift was stopped. It appeared that there was another room directly below the infirmary. The voice was coming from there. I pushed the button calling the lift and hopped in. It descended slowly and silently. I arrived below. I noticed that the hatch was slightly ajar.
嘘。だって。
I eased closer and opened the hatch. Who are you talking to? Coco jumped as if she had been stung. She was sitting on the bed. Nothing looked out of the ordinary. Who the hell are you talking to? Takepyon. You think this is an act, bro? I think this is an act. I don't think she's this stupid, right? Here we go. Huh? Say place Pokemon. I know the Neko song 17. It's not Pyong Pyong, it's Pokemon, right?
そうそう。でも違うよ。
Huh?
ココ。
Coco pointed to herself as she said her name.
たけぴょん
Then she pointed at me.
でもってピピ3歳
I forgot she has PP with her. The puppy face peeked out from under the
よろ
bed.
しくね
Oh, nice to meet you too. But haven't we already introduced ourselves? I returned upstairs with Coco. So you're calling me Takupyon? Is that it? Alright, I got it. So who were you talking with, Coco?
ふにゅ
Was there someone just in that room?
いないよ
What the hell?
ピピとちょっと遊んでたんだ
Hey, we can't trust Coco, bro. Fuck her. What the hell? She's acting hella sus.
ぴょんぴょんたけぴょんたけぴょんぴょん
Is this what we call playing dumb? Whatever. I didn't think Coco would lie to me. There wasn't anyone else around. Infirmary situation normal. Now, I took my PDA from my pocket and checked the time. Oh no! They were only 2 minutes late, but still, we were late. I jogged towards the security office. Coco and people were close behind me. We went in through the sliding door.
くらなり遅い
1:12? Is that 7 or 1? I think that's 7:12 p.m. You was standing like a guard in a narrow entranceway. The kid was next to
い
her.
や僕の方がちょっと早く着いたね
Sorry, my bad. I was late.
くらなり団体行動は時間厳守の基本なんだからね分かってるの
Don't get so mad. It's only 2 minutes, give or take.
あのねその2分のおかげでヤバくなることだってあるんだからここも遅刻しちゃったあ、ここ道に迷ったりしなかった危ない目にあったりしなかった
What the
大丈
fuck?
夫大丈夫まっすぐ来られたよおよかったよかった
You sure treating her a lot different than me.
まあまあ無事に皆さん揃ったんですからいいじゃありませんか
She looked up from the alignment terminal and smiled. She walked towards us. So, everybody's here? What about Tsugumi?
ここにいるわよ
Tsugumi was leaning against the lockers on the far side of the room.
何か調べがついたのなら話を聞きたいんだけどどうなのあ、はいそれではお伝えしますまずは確認事項から
Sora gave us a lecture about the structure of LeMU.
レミューは水面下に3つの層を持っていますエルストボーデン、ツバイトシュトック、ドリットシュトック各フロアの間隔は17メートルですフロアを1つ降りれば17メートル深くなります
Goddamn, Ever17!
したがって3階ドリットシュトックは水深51メートルの位置に沈んでいることになりますねドリットの外は約5気圧の水圧プラス大気圧1気圧で合計約6気圧の圧力がかかっています仮にドリットから突然海中に出てしまった場合
I just remembered something. It's okay, don't worry about it.
肺が6分の1に押しつぶされるかまたは肺溶石の6分の5の海水が肺に流れ込んでおそらく数分以内に絶命するでしょう
I got a
ど
question.
うぞ
I heard about skin divers can dive into depths about 30 meters. Couldn't somebody just tough out of the water pressures up the way on the way up? God damn it, I keep clicking outside.
フリーダイビングの現在の世界記録は150メートルですアクアラングをつけてそれなりの手順を踏めばおそらく35メートルぐらいなら誰でも潜れるでしょうしかしその場合肺に送り込むエアーは高圧のガスを用います素潜りの場合は息を止めて潜るわけですが素人だったら20メートルが限界ですねそれ以上になると熟練が必要になります
Wow, is that right?
それから大事なことがもう一つ仮に5気圧の水圧に耐えられたとして倉成さんあなたは51メートルも上にある海面まで泳ぎ切ることができるでしょうか
Maybe. You're making fun of me. Hey, I may not look like it, but I'm in high school. I swim kilometers.
それは水面での話ではないですか横に51メートルと縦に51メートルでは
何もかも全然違うのです。高さ51メートル、15階建てのビルの屋上まで泳いで登るのと同じことです。
I want to say satisfied, right? Because I don't want her to explain more. Swimming a 15-story building? God damn, that's a big-ass building. That was insanity. From Zweiterstock at a depth of 34 meters, that would be about 10 stories. Just climbing that would be a challenge. Besides, how would one get outside of LeMU in the first place? Yeah, you're right. That's something that just guts alone couldn't get you through. I nodded.
海中を闇雲に進もうとするのは自殺行為だと言いたいのね。
そうです。皆さん、もう一つ申し上げにくいのですが、お知らせがあります。LeMUと外部をつなぐ通信系統について、先ほどから調査を継続、回復を試みていましたが、すべてのケーブル通信、電波通信、ネットワーク接続の機能は物理的断線や施設の浸水、故障によって使用不能。これらの回復の見込みは今後もありません。音波通信機の使用も管外の送信機の破損によって不可能となっています。したがって SOS を発信することはできません。報告終わります。
2 hours had passed. There was no sign of help. If there were people up on the floating island, at least they could do was send someone to check on us. I was trying to be upbeat about things, but with the first floor flooded and partitions shut, no one was going to be coming through here. And coming through the ocean, they seemed even more impossible. The flooding in LeMU had disrupted the flow of current sound around it. It would be hard for a diver or a small submersible to get anywhere near it. We looked behind the security office that reeked of smoke and gathered in the front of the souvenir stand. What? What the hell? It's like just give them what's that shit called? The public shit. She got like free noises. I just finished my 34th match against PP, and I lost 34 times. It was a pretty one-sided affair. Is there any way that PP could lose? First off, you're the one who's making PP face all funny. I can't make faces that crazy by myself. Besides, I don't know how to make a dog laugh. It's not really fair. Damn. I wonder if it was really just about getting used to it. Well, I'll just have to admit defeat. Kid, you want to take my place?
僕が?
Yeah, I'm begging you. I'll be the referee. The guy had been talking with you, but he came over.
お手柔らかに。
あ、何して遊んでるんです？楽しそう。
So we were taken with the game also came over. It's a staring contest. K9 versus humans.
あ、それはすごそうですね。
Soa covered her mouth with her hand and giggled. Actually, people's pee-pee is incredible. I think I'm going to have nightmares about this. I shuddered. And now, in the first contest, we have the champion PP versus the challenger, the kid, facing off in a face fight. I want to get underway, but first... Well, I think we need to decide what we're going to call the kid here. Is kid okay? What do you think?
そんなこと言われても僕には。
Who? Oh, because his name is he's a shonen, young man. Let's call him Sho instead of the complete word shonen, right?
いいよ。
Channel Sho-chan, huh? You want me to call you that then? There's gotta be a more normal name than that. John. It'd be fitting to call him John Doe. What the fuck?
適当だからゴンベイだというのは全国のゴンベイさんに申し訳ないのではないですか？
Well, it's only for a little while, so it doesn't have to be
倉
perfect.
成さん、翔ちゃんよりも名前っぽい名前をと言ったじゃありませんか。
じゃあね、ココがもう一個名前をつけよう。しょうちゃん、またの名をパブロ・ディエゴ・ホセ・フランシスコ・デ・パーラ・ファン・ネポムセのマリア・デ・ロス・デメディオス。
I like that name. Let's call him that.
スプリアーノ・クリスピン・クリスピニアーノ・デ・ラ・サンティッシマ・トリニダ・トルイス・イ・ピカソ。
Picasso. That's too long. Anything longer than Takanaka Yubisei Harukana is out.
ちょっと倉成たけし、突然フルネームで呼ばないでよ。
You, who had been standing over by the shop, came walking directly toward me. Aha, what a pain. In honor of the mascot, I name you John Raccoon Dog Smith.
乱暴ですね、倉成さん。そうですね、私も一つ考えましょう。それではキワクさんというのはいかがでしょうか。
She said Kiwa. Kiwa.
記憶忘れちゃったくんの略？
Oh. That's a bad look to name him that.
すみません、直接的すぎました。
あなたたち何を揉めてるの？
Tsugumi cut
一時
in.
的な名前を適当につけたりしたら彼が本名を思い出した時にいろいろ困るわよ。少年なんだから
Shonen.
少年でいいじゃない。
The conversation came full circles. The light suddenly went out and then flashed back on. There was a dull, heavy metallic echo. At the same time, there was a slight tremor. What's that?
今の揺れ下から来てる。
下のフロアで何かあったのかな？
ちょっと調べてみます。
Saying that, Sora held her hands out in front of her. Just then, a strong lateral vibration jolted the floor. The holographic window that Sora had conjured vanished.
大丈夫です。モニター回復、フロアスキャン開始。ドリットシュトック第6区画、資材置き場付近から浸水中。
It's flooding. I don't see any signs of that when I made the rounds. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of metal giving way accompanied the massive shaking. Scenes from old movies of luxury liners being swallowed by the ocean flashed across my mind.
区画連結部に破損。浸水箇所、複数の区画に拡大していきます。
ねえ、どこかに捕まっておいた方がいいんじゃない？
そうね。みんな何かに捕まって体を固定して。
Alright, I'll grab onto Sora. Okay. I reached out for the support pillar nearby. Coco crouched down and she squeezed Pee-Pee tightly. Everyone held their breath. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Bam! A huge shockwave rocked us. The whole floor, or rather the whole of LeMU, shook. I thought I would be thrown into the ceiling 1 second or pulverized into the floor the next. The souvenir shop in front of me trembled. The display of dishes in the shop fell to the floor and shattered. The pile of empty cans clattered and gave way. The stuffed animal made a beeping noise as it fell on its stomach. We all steadied ourselves against the shaking. All we could do was endure it. No one said anything. We could hear the squeal and still and twisting. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Finally, the sound seemed to get farther away. The vibration was also gradually subsided. Sora announced that the second wave of flooding had finished. Still worried, we headed downstairs. We carefully moved forward down the wet and slippery stairs, and with every step the scent of seawater seemed to grow stronger. We arrived at a drifter stalk, the 3rd floor. The water sign level in the corridor reached around my shin. It must have been 15 centimeters deep.
完全には排水できないの？
できないようです。大きな浸水箇所は隔壁で遮断したのですが、細かいダクトなどを通して今もこの区画に少しずつ水が流れ込み続けています。
We're dead.
排水ポンプはフル稼働していますが、現在の状態より水位を下げるにはおそらく。
The big hole will have to be plugged. Is that what you're gonna say?
でも浸水元の区画には 隔壁が降りてしまってるから、ここから修理に行くこともできない。
ええ、そうです。
We entered the central control room. So it checked the damage via the LeMU limit console.
それにしても本当に申し訳ありませんでした。二次浸水の危険が迫っていたというのに、皆さんに前もってお伝えできていなかったなんて。
As she manipulated the keys, Sora bowed her head, looking deeply apologetic. Look, man, it's not your fault, bro. Everybody make mistakes. Alright. We may have even overlooked the cause of this when we were checking around a little bit ago. We're in this together. Everyone is fine, so let's just consider ourselves lucky.
ごめんなさい。
Sora answered without looking away from the
すみ
monitor.
ません、倉成さん。なんだか気を使っていただいて。
It's nothing. I scratched the tip of my nose. He did this shit. God damn it, I hate this shit, bro. Because I developed that habit from watching too many goddamn animes. But they just like rub their nose and shit. I hate that. I'm like nasty. I do that too now, though. Finally, her hand stopped typing on the keyboard. So it turned and stood up.
状況がわかりました。これから表示します。皆さんどうか驚いたり気を落としたりしないでくださいね。
そら、そんな風に言われると逆に身構えちゃうよ。
あ、すみません。
まあ、めったなことじゃ驚かない自信があるけどね。
そうですか。それでは。
I thought everyone was probably numbed by what we experienced so far. Sora, please read.
そうですか。それでは。
Hey, why is there... Simply put, the cause of the second influx of water we experienced a short while ago.
一度目の浸水の時に被害を免れたいくつかの区画は強制換気により急激に減圧された状態で水没した区画から隔離されました。しかし水没区画が内部の水の重さに耐えきれず傾き、隣接した区画とのジョイントに亀裂が生じました。管内外の圧力差により小さな亀裂からスポイトのように周囲の海水が吸い込まれたために、それまで健在だった多くの区画も短時間で一気に浸水したのです。これが現在のドリットシュトックの状況です。明滅している箇所がこの中央制御室です。そしてこちらがツバイトシュトックの状況です。
You serious?
レミューの約半分は水の中ってわけね。
Oh! I don't know how to get the window down, but that's what it means? Damn, bruh. I thought that like it's like small, but apparently it's supposed to be like a full circle. God damn,
ドリットには
bro.
水没していない区画が3カ所あります。
Oh, that's the third floor.
このマップの中心に表示されているのが私たちのいる第8区画です。
Okay.
あれ、地図には大まかに2つに分かれた場所が示されてるみたいだけど、もう一つの区画は？
実はシステムの不備のせいで詳細なマップ表示ができていませんが、この第8区画の対角線上にある第4区画の一部も健在なのです。
Okay.
そこに行くことはできないの？
はい、不可能です。
どうして？
2つの区画を結んでいる通路が全て水没してしまったからです。距離にしておよそ100メートル。無呼吸状態で100メートル泳ぎ続けるような能力をお持ちになっている方はこの中にはいらっしゃらないでしょう。故に不可能なのです。
Can't someone give us like mouth to mouth while swimming? One of us gotta sacrifice ourselves.
それにもしも仮に第4区画まで行けたとしても事態が好転するようなことはないと思われます。
ん？
第4区画もここと同じなのです。浮島へ登るための非常階段は全て完全浸水しています。
つまり行っても無駄ってことね。
そういうことです。
だったらしょうがないか。
Yeah, we're dead.
第4区画のことはこの際忘れてしまった方がいいわね。
We'll just have to sit quietly and wait for help to come. 9:48 p.m. Well, I guess we can take it easy for now. I left the room and hit the food stand, stacking some cola for everyone. Alright, cola time! I'm gonna toss everyone one. Ready? Oops, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm one short.
あ、私はいらないです。
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll go get one more. You can have mine.
いえ、結構です。私喉乾いていませんし、コーラは苦手なんです。
So I smiled. Well, in that case, I tossed out cola to everyone in order. You, Tsugumi, and the kid all took one. And then the kid started shaking his can. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, stupid! What do you think you're doing?
え、
If you do that, it's gonna explode everywhere.
そうなの？危険なの？
Did you forget that cola is carbonated?
ごめん。
Jeez, I'll give you mine. Here. We switched cans. I switched cans with him. That time, the kid slowly lifted the tap without shaking the can. Oh, that wasn't my fault. Cola erupted powerfully, and the rest of us hurriedly jumped to get out of the way. The kid got blasts of cola in the face. Hey, are you alright? Just so you know, that wasn't my doing.
コーラ甘いねこれ。
ああ、もう気をつけないと。
You said as if you were at her wit's end.
その間、レミューの特殊ガスの気圧に合わせて6気圧で封入してあるんだから。会員料の持ち込み、持ち帰りは現金ですって入場するときに聞かなかったの？
Well, I didn't know that. I must have missed it. It was true. Normally, the inside of LeMU complex was maintained by 6 atmospheres using a mixture of gases. Since the floor pressure and lowered to 1 atmosphere and the gas in the cans are still highly pressurized, the gap in pressure with the surrounding atmosphere made them burst when open.
僕も知らなかったよ。
The kid wiped his face with a nearby towel. Hey, kid, no one would expect you to know that. You gotta tell an amnesiac these things ahead of time.
へいへい、以後気をつけます。
What the fuck? I hand you a cola. What do you mean? She probably didn't care, to be honest. Huh? Coco, what's wrong? Coco was embracing Pee-Pee and looked downcast. Thinking about it, I realized that Coco hadn't said anything for a while. It didn't seem like her. Hey, aren't you going to drink your cola? I held out a can of cola in front of Coco. It's a little warm, but it's the best I can do.
いらない。
Coco mumbled that.
ここちょっとね、調子良くないんだ。さっきからずっと考えてるんだけど、いい子メッチョがなかなか思いつかなくて。
Jokes? I peered down at Coco. She didn't look too good. She was sweating and having a hard time breathing. Hey, you don't look very good.
クラナリ、どいて。
What? You came rushing over to Coco, pushed me out of the way, put her hands on the girl's shoulder.
ここ、頭痛くない？少し痛い。クラクラする。で、ブラブラ動かしたら痛い？ちょっとだけ。
But it looked like it hurt more than just a little.
フロアの急激な減圧による減圧症の疑いがあります。
そうね。
Pee-Pee looked up at Coco worriedly.
スバイトの救護室に行こう。クラナリ、おんぶ。
Huh?
おんぶ。早くおんぶしてよ。
Alright, alright.
ココをおぶるのよ。
I got it. You don't have to scream in my ear. We were rushing to Zweiter's stock, some 17 meters above us. I held Coco on my back, with you and Tsugumi supporting her from the sides. Sora led the way, and the kid brought up the rear. Who's carrying Pee-Pee? We emerged at the second floor emergency corridor. Hey, are you sure we shouldn't take a normal corridor?
ここをそのまま進んでください。近道になっています。
The emergency corridor was directly connected to the lift below the infirmary. Phew, we made it. Let's get her up
い
there.
え、クラナリさん、そのままそこにある部屋に入ってください。
Huh?
医療用の下減圧室、再圧チャンバーです。
ココをそこに寝かせてあげて。
Okay, I got it. Coco lay on the bed. Tsugumi and the kid stood next to me and looked down at Coco. So you, what are we going to do in this tiny room? Isn't it a little cramped for examining her? The space is so small that we could hardly move with everyone in there.
私は何もしないよ。
What are you talking
こ
about?
こにはしばらくこの部屋でおとなしくしててもらうの。
I tilted my head,
高
confused.
圧酸素療法です。ご説明しましょう。減圧症は周囲に急激な気圧変化が起こった際に体内に排出できないガスが溜まってしまうために起こるのです。ガスは気泡となって筋組織や静脈中などにとどまります。ガスが体内に多く残っていると酸素呼吸効率が著しく低下します。
So, no matter how many deep breaths you take, it feels like you're suffocating.
はい。また血液中に溶けた窒素が気化すると血栓を作ってしまうことがあります。血流を塞いでしまい危険です。
She's gonna explode.
そこでこの部屋を密閉して高濃度の酸素を注入。一旦約3気圧までゆっくりと加圧し、その後ゆっくりと減圧し、再び1気圧に戻します。圧力差を利用して体内の気泡を再び血液中に溶け込ませ、呼吸によって自然に排出できるようにするわけです。
So basically, you make us like a can of cola that won't blow up.
ええ、その通りです。
Damn, I knew it, bruh. She was gonna blow up. Okay, I got it. I lifted my hand. Gosh, that dash up the stairs sure wore me out. I heaved a breath.
あ、倉成さん、苦しくないですか？
My muscles feel kind of sore and I'm a bit sluggish, but
ねえ、倉成も部屋に入った方がいいんじゃない？軽い減圧症はすぐに自覚症状が現れるわけじゃないの。一晩二晩経ってから痛み出すこともあるのよ。ええ、症状が長引くかもね。
そうですね。念のためですが皆さん全員この部屋に入っていただきます。
the decompression process took place over several hours. Coco lay on the only bed. The kid, you, PP, and I sat next to her. It was cramped. We were like sardines in a can. There was nowhere to move. 11:54 p.m. I wonder what time it was. I took out my PDA and checked. 11:54 p.m. I was sleepy. Coco was sleeping. Her breathing was relaxed. It looked like she was doing better. It didn't look like you or the kid were sleeping, but they sat quietly with their eyes closed. Pee-Pee had crawled under the bed. Sora had sealed the hatch from outside and was adjusting pressure as necessary. Sora, what about you? Don't you need to be treated? Before the process started, I had asked Sora that.
ええ、私は体が慣れてますから。あ、それと皆さん、再圧の時には耳の音声変換器を一旦外してください。
I forgot we were wearing that.
それは鼓膜を気圧差から保護する役割がありますが、再圧中は邪魔になってしまいますから。
I removed the earphones that I had become completely used to and held them in my hand, so it still stood just outside the hatch window. Tsugumi wasn't inside or visibly outside the room. She had just left before the pressurization process had started. Where's Tsugumi? Did we worry about Sora? No. This is a Tsugumi route, bro. We're doing Tsugumi. Where the heck did Tsugumi go anyway? Just before the hatch was closed, she had suddenly started talking.
あ、それじゃあ私は行くから。
Hey, where are you going?
急に行くところができたのよ。
Where? Treatment is more urgent than that.
必要ない。
Tsugumi, that's irresponsible and selfish.
こんな狭苦しい場所にいつまでもいられないわよ。ま、一人で逃げ出したりはしないから安心したら。
That's not the point.
要するに付き合いきれないの、あなたたちとは。
Damn. Tsugumi ignored you and me and went off somewhere. She had reported to us that she was somewhere on the floor and safe. But it still bothered me a bit. But it was Tsugumi after all. I was sure she'd probably be back in a little while saying something else. That was what I thought, but nearly 2 hours had passed. I'll wait just a little bit longer. Even as I thought that, my eyelids got heavier and heavier. But still, even so, today really was an eventful day. And then I fell away into slumber. Day 2. Damn, dude, they wake up like 5 a.m. Yawn. Dude. I'm sleepy. The lack of sleep made the echoes of the shoes scraping the ground seem louder than usual. As I walked down the emergency corridor, I stretched. Yu was next to me. Coco and the kid trailed a little way behind us.
あんなにぐっすり眠ってたくせに。
Yeah, but what time is it right now?
5時半。
That's right. So that meant I only slept 4.5 hours.
しかじゃなくて、もでしょ？この状況でよくそんなに眠れるわね。
It's because it was this kind of situation that I gotta sleep. Our minds have to be sharp. We have to be ready for anything, right?
じゃあ、今は回転してるんだ。
Well, I'm still a bit sleepy deprived, so not all my pistons are firing. But I think I'm doing about as good as the next guy. Hey, aren't you? The next thing I noticed, Yu was no longer next to me. I stopped and looked back. I saw the kid and Coco vanish into a small side corridor to the right. I hurriedly after the three of them.
で、どうなのよ？睡眠の成果は。
What the fuck? You could have told me. You spoke to me sarcastically once I caught up. I just told you I'm not running at full power.
はあ。
Wow, what a sigh. You let out an exasperated sigh and shrugged her shoulders. She also arched her eyebrow as if annoyed.
くらなり。いっぺん鏡見た方がいいんじゃない？
Mirror?
あんたね、ともかくさっさと顔洗った方がいいよ。
What? They entered the emergency stairs from the emergency corridor. We had been roused from sleep by Sora, and the four of us shuffled to the control room on the 3rd floor, in Dritter's stock. I'm amazed none of these characters have to use the bathroom. That's pretty amazing, bruh. No water? I guess we had cola. So no bathroom though. And they could like walk for hours. Damn, they're amazing. We seem to have passed through the decompression process without a hitch, as no one had any complaints. Even Coco, who seemed to be having such a rough time, was.
ぽっかりぽかぽか日曜日。ぷっかりぷかぷか水曜日。ぴったりピカピカピッピ曜日。
Even the dogs seemed in high spirits. They look even happier than the day before. The water on the corridor floor splashed and sprayed as we walked. Yu walked next to me, had clammed up. I wondered what she peeved about. I slowed down my pace to walk with the kid. Hey, you got any ideas what you all miffled about?
さあ、
The kid answered, grinning. Hey, what are you laughing about? Do you know something that I don't?
心当たりないの？
If I did, I wouldn't be asking you. You told me to look in the mirror, but...
なんだ、教えちゃったのか。
Huh?
つまんないの。
The kid kept glancing at my face and trying not to smile. My face! I wiped upon my hands. It looked like black ink was smeared there. What's this? I tried to wipe it off with my shirt collar, but it wouldn't come off.
あ、トイレならあっちだよ。
The faucet was broken, and the sink was overflowing with water. I hurriedly washed my hands and then my face. The mirror in front of me was shattered into so many shards so that it was useless. But most of the black has come off of my hands, so I thought my face was probably alright. Damn that girl. I said it disgustedly and hurried out of the room. I went up to you again. Hey you! What did you write on my face?
はあ？
While I was asleep, you scribbled all over my face, didn't you?
落書き？
Bro, what has she got against me, bruh? What did I do to you? As she watched, she gaped at my face.
何言っちゃってんだかね、この人は。ひょっとしてまだ寝ぼけてるとか？
Don't play dumb with me, you. We were just talking about a mirror.
だっけ、そんなことを。
You said it. I know you said it.
聞き間違えたんじゃないの？やっぱり寝ぼけてるんだよ、きっと。
Then what's this? I showed her my shirt collar that I had wiped the ink.
どれどれ？
You mumbled at So I stepped
う
closer.
んうんふむふむ
Suddenly, she grabbed my hand and stared at my palm intently.
おお、こいつは珍しい手相をしとるの。
Palm reading. Is that what you're into now?
天婚一滴の相といってな、運命が大きく二手に分かれることを示しておるのじゃ。つまりオール・オア・ナッシングじゃな。全てを得るか、あるいは全てを失ってしまうか。
The hell?
一方に進めば金運、仕事運ともに上々で美しい女性と巡り合い、子宝にも恵まれ幸せな家庭を築けるじゃろう。
Is she talking about a good ending?
おまけに健康運も最高ときとる。
Oh.
人が羨むほどの長寿長命を全うすることになりそうじゃ。ただしじゃ、もう一方に進んでしまうと、これは本当に大変なことになるぞ。
Is this the bad ending? Dire.
これ以上はわしの口からは言えんの。この生命線の真ん中のところをよーくよーくじっくりと見つめてみるのじゃ。
The one thing that kind of gets me in this game, not in a good way, is the voices is pretty inconsistent when it comes to volume. Like she sound very loud one moment, and then she's like, seem like she's kind of far away from me the next moment. I'm like, what?
そこに答えが刻まれておるのじゃからな。
Yeah. I look down at the palm of my hand. My eyes trace a line down my lifeline. Wide eyes, I scrutinize each wrinkle, the line, but I didn't see an answer anywhere. There are still black ink in the creases of my hand. Black ink, black ink, black ink! I remember what I was angry about. Forget fortune telling. You're trying to trick me. Hey, wait! The next thing I noticed, you was no longer next to me. I stopped and looked back. I saw the kid and Coco vanish into a small-sided corridor to the left. Whoa, jeez, I don't believe these guys. I heard after the three of them. Tsugumi was in front of the control room, 5:36 a.m. She was leaning against the wall with her arms folded and head down. I want to talk to her, right? Is that possible? Can we talk to her? Let's talk to her. I wonder where she could have run off to the day before, but decided not to ask. I decided to shower her with the cheeriest greeting I could muster. Ohio! How are you feeling? If you aren't feeling good, you should probably get to the decompression chamber. Tsugumi didn't budge. She stood there with her mouth half open, only blinking her eyes a couple of times. What's the matter? You tired? Low blood pressure? Well, I didn't exactly sleep like a baby either. That damn room was so small that I ended up sitting on the floor all night. I yawned and rubbing my eyes with both hands as I spoke. But then Tsugumi's eyes narrowed into slits and level exteriorly glare at me. It was kind of a look that could kill.
あなたって最低ね。
Huh. Tsugumi shook her head as if she was fed up with me and vanished inside the control room. Absolute worst. Hey, hold on a
倉
sec.
成さん、
So a voice came from behind me.
そんなところで何をやっているんです？早く中に入ってください。
But
いいから早くお願いします。
the expression on her face appeared more stressed than the day before. It seemed as if her face said that something serious was unfolding.
こんなにも早い時間に皆さんにお集まりいただいたのは他でもありません。実は皆さんに一刻も早くお知らせしなければならないことがあったのです。
Sora paused for a second. Sora looked at the five of us in turn. You, Tsugumi, Coco, the kid, and me. The cooling fan whirled away in the silence. Occasionally, the sound of metal on metal rang through the room. The five of us waited for Sora's next words.
昨夜、小町さんを除く4人の皆さんが加減圧室に入られた後、私はこの制御室でここからの脱出方法や外部への通信手段について考えていました。そしてレミュー内の状況を一つ一つ調べていくうちにある事実が判明したのです。
脱出するルートが見つかったの？
Hell no.
いいえ、
ってことは新たに外部へ連絡する方法
Hell
が
no.
それもまだです。
Then what did you figure out?
そうですね。 圧力核兵器の耐久強度、その限界が分かりました。
Saying that, Sora turned her eyes to the side of the console. In the darkness, a three-dimensional image of LeMU sprung up.
圧力核壁って何？
Coco held Pee-Pee tightly as she asked.
レミューの壁のことです。外側の海水と内側の空間を隔てている部分。
その限界が分かったってどういうことなの？
昨日もお伝えしましたように、レミューは基本的に飽和潜水仕様の設計をもとに建造された構造物です。つまり内部の気圧が外部の水圧と同等か、それを上回るような構造になっていたという。しかし今や館内の気圧は1気圧ですから、
レミューの外殻は常に苛烈な水圧の力にさらされてるということになる。
はい。
ところがレミューはもともとこのような状況に長く耐えられるようには作られていない。必然的にいつかは限界が訪れることになる。
おっしゃる通りです。
So, when is this limit? Hold on. Oh, oh, fuck! I have to think about it.
レミの計算によると、今から約119時間後に
Oh my god, wait. 24, 48, 60, 72, 96, 96. That's like 5 days. They got 5 days to live. After 119 hours, right? The entire place is gonna basically explode. And water's gonna come in. Right? I think I got that right.
$119時間5日後か。
Yeah, I was saying 5 days.
完全悪化推定時刻は5月7日午前4時30分前後となっています。
4:30 a.m.
もちろんあくまでも推定ですから誤差はありますが、
Would have exploded earlier.
誤差はどのくらいなの？
プラスマイナス12時間程度です。
Oh, we may have 4 days. Huh. Everyone went silent, lost in thought. Sora talked had made it clear that we were in a crisis, but I still didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know if 5 days was a long time or a short one. We didn't have a schedule, but if we could find a way out, I didn't figure it would be sticking around 5 days. Even if we didn't call anyone, the rescue team might have been on its way anyway.
ねえねえ、ソラさんソラさん、ここバカだからあんまりよくわかんなかったんだけど、それってこういうことだよね。5月7日午前4時30分頃にレミューはくしゃっとぺったんこになっちゃう。もしかしたらそうなっちゃうのは6日の午後4時半ぐらいかもしれないし、7日の午後4時半ぐらいかもしれない。ここまでは OK だよね。
ええ。
Good job, Coco.
ってことはさ、逆に言うとこういうことにならない？最低でも6日の午後4時半ぐらいまではレミューはぺったんこにならない。だからそれまでは全然大丈夫で、心配することなんかないぴょろりーん。ねえ、そういうことでしょ？
I don't know about that. We don't even know where's the food at. Where's water? We ain't drinking that seawater shit.
絶対に安全だと断定することはできませんが、
We may have to start eating each other. One of us gotta be a sacrifice, and one of us gotta know how to make fire. Cause I'm not eating that raw.
でも確かにレミの計算結果から判断するとそうなりますね。
なんだなんだ、だったらそれでいいじゃん。ソラさん、眉間にキュッてシワなんか寄せちゃってるからさ、ここはちょっぴりドキドキしちゃったよ。
It's okay.
まったく脅かすんじゃないぜベーブ。で、ピピもそう言ってるよ。
I don't like PP calling Sora a babe. Only I can call her that. PP, you better watch your mouth.
そうだよね。あと1日でなんて言われたら思わず大暴れするかもしれないところだけど、まだまだ時間は十分あるんだし、それまでにはきっと誰か助けに来てくれるよ。
Yeah, bro, why do they think someone's gonna rescue them, man? Bro, I would give up. I'm like, oh, there's people stuck down there. I don't know, man. The kid standing next to you agreed. He nodded rhythmically, as if answering a question. The tension in the air gave way and smiles returned to the faces around the room. Even Tsugumi didn't smile, looked relieved. Damn, everyone's excited. 4 days. That's a lot of time. It's 5:50 a.m. I give a large yawn. Alright. Damn. Speaking of large yawn, oh my god, bruh. I know it's a little bit short, but I'm mad tired, man. I should have drank coffee. I didn't drink coffee today. I should have. So that means you gotta make it short. Okay. So with that, you figure out we only have 4 days to live. Are they gonna either die when they run out of food, water, or unnatural disasters like if a ceiling fall on top of them? And even if they manage to survive 4 days without being killed by anything, the entire place is gonna blow up. Maybe 5 if they're lucky, or 6, or 5 really actually. I guess they're all smiles. Let's see what the team's gonna do to figure things out. Are they really gonna wait for someone to save them? Or are they gonna try to figure something out? Right? If I was stuck, I don't think, I guess the smart thing is to wait, but I mean, you got 4 days to live, bruh. I don't know, bruh. I would've placed my life on the line, right? Relying on an unknown savior to come and save me, right? I would at least, I'd probably be like Tsugumi. Maybe I'll try a little bit. Who knows? Anyway, appreciate it when I stopped by. It's been cool. We'll play more Ever17 next time. I don't know when's next time, because there's another visual novel that's coming out very soon that I want to play. So we're going to put this on hold for a little bit. Anyway, laters. Bye.